The first session is going to be graced by architect Geeta Balakrishnan. Now, I will be just making her short intro over here. She is an alumnus of the School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. She completed her practical training at the Center for Building Performance and Diagnostics at Carnegie Mellon University, Pittsburgh. Subsequently, she underwent a training program on stabilized mud blocks and other alternative construction methods at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. She worked with an NGO, Awas, as a shelter coordinator in the slums of Bangalore. Subsequently, she has moved on to become a trustee of the same NGO. She moved to Kolkata in the year 2001 and started Ethos with the intention of making the architectural and civil engineering community alive to changes happening globally and in our country in the field of architecture and construction. Ethos reaches out to over 45,000 students of architecture and civil engineering from around 600 colleges across India through interesting events. She has authored a book, Arcumen, Questioning Architecture. Arcumen, the quiz she conceived was conducted in Sri Lanka in 2006, and an edition was hosted in Lahore in the year 2010. Ethos launched Ace Edge on August 15, 2018 to offer online education modules that give the edge in the field of architecture, construction, engineering, and design. Since then, lectures, Ace Edge brings attention to the South Asian context through their courses and has mentors from across the globe sharing their insights on theory and practice. She is currently the chairperson of the West Bengal chapter of the Indian Institute of Architects. She was in the shortlist of the top 25 people in Kolkata in the Lead India campaign held by the Times of India. She's an avid and enthusiastic runner and has recently completed 2 full marathons and multiple half marathons. I've had the pleasure of interacting with Geeta ma'am previously on a couple of events where she's been associated with Dayanand Sagar, and it gives me a great pleasure to invite her to here this session today. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks so much, Chetan. Thank you, Rama ma'am, for having me as part of this orientation session, where I would, love to connect with the first years, because I look forward to their journey with us for the next, for their student life at Dayanand Sagar, for sure. Incidentally, you talked about the running. I'm training for my third full marathon, which is coming up in a couple of weeks.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. So, yes. So let me just share screens and let me know when you see it. All good?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So
no, just a moment. Just a moment. I think it dropped.
Is it? I can see it as stop sharing still. Can you check with the others?
Okay. Just a moment. Yes.
It's fine, right? You can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, great. So here we are today. I think it's a privilege to be talking to young students who are beginning their journey of becoming an architect, student life and becoming an architect. And I know a lot of uncertainty stares at you in the face. So are we going to be talking about profile of an architect? Are we going to be talking about life of an architect? Or are we going to be exploring life itself? Or become a little more specific, exploring life in architecture and helping you find your way as first years? So let's see. We'll do a little bit of everything as we go along. And so we started with, finding out what is life. And I did do a little bit of a study to online to find out what life meant for different people. And there were people who said, and these are all people you would know, like Charlie Chaplin saying life is a desire, Voltaire saying life is a struggle, Muhammad Ali saying life is a gamble, Dolly Parton saying life is a song. And these are some of the definitions that one got for life when one checked online. I decided to go into our immediate vicinity, my office, and people in the surroundings to ask them what life is for them. Vrinda at Ethos. Ethos is my organization that Chetan just told you about, and you'll see a little bit about that as we go along as well. So Vrinda mentioned life is fun and jolly. Sonam says life is without a manual. For Kshitij, it's work and play. For Suraj, who's a waiter at a cafe in Almora, it's a struggle. For Mahesh, who's the receptionist at a cafe, says it's about helping others. For Motushi, who's part of our organization, it's responsibilities with fun. For Meghna, it is unpredictable and exciting. For Sonia, it's a seeking. For Raju, who's actually a welder on site, it's Satrangi. Satrangi, I think, is an instrument. And for Sarah, it's an obscure journey. And for Nikita, it's precious. I'm sure each of you would have your own definitions for life, and maybe you could think what your idea of life itself is. No, I'm not going to make this a very heavy session. There's going to be a little bit of fun as well. So if you ask me what I think life is, I would actually talk about when is life. Life is actually, every moment has a life. Every episode, every activity has a life. It comes to life and goes. And I think if we start looking at it broken up into those moments, I think you'll be able to handle things that are thrown at you much better. That moment is over. That life of that activity is over, and you can move on to the next one. So there's life in that blooming of that flower, and then the flower moves away. These are moments again. So we did ask again. I asked a bunch of people, what are your most recalled happy, sad moments? And someone says the birth of their child. This blue is the birth of their child, and that was their happiest moment. For somebody, it was probably the buying of their first car. That is the happiest moment. But even that has a end. You talk about the most painful experience of your life. Even that has a beginning and an end, and it gets over. So it's a collection of moments, collection of activities, collection of memories is what one would believe it should be. If you look at this, this kind of takes you through different relationships or relationships over a period of time. When you're in childhood, your best friend, you're really close, and then you kind of move apart. Best friend in college, you're apart, and then you kind of come together, maybe miss each other for a while, and then again come together like many of us are doing now. Sibling, it's a blow hot, blow cold kind of a relationship. With a parent, largely together, but there are periods in life where you probably have a bad patch. So there are different kinds of relationships over a period of time. How they evolve is something that I thought I should show you. I'm sorry about this visual. I don't know why this is not showing up, but life doesn't come with an instruction manual. And if I was to narrate what is said here, it says life is like a game of chess, but I don't know how to play chess. So how do you learn? How do you find your way around this is something that could be actually very, very interesting as well. So life is like the urge to evolve, how the giraffe's neck kept growing because the tree, it had to reach leaves at heights. And sometimes it could get complicated, hence we have to be careful that we don't overdo it. So what is life like in the first year of architecture college? So this is a little cartoon that was drawn up by someone in my team, Pritha and my team. And I don't think you have begun your first few days in college yet. So some of this might still be alien to you. And secondly, you're not having live classes, I presume, so that still will be alien to you. But how did you set up? Did you set up your desk? Strange, there's some weird backing paper. if you were in college, you would have this board and you would have a backing paper, and there would be no benches because you'd be standing and drawing. That's architecture. That's so unlike any other discipline that you might be, your friends might be in. You need stationery, and the first day itself, life begins with a submission, and submission becomes part of your, every sentence vocabulary of sorts. And you think that you would ramp up gradually, but I'm not sure how your first few days are going to be. But from what I remember and from what I've spoken to friends and even young students today, that the fun begins day one. You're introduced to doing things, and there's a lot that you keep learning. So sleepless nights, endless work, confusion. And if you're going to be doing all this online, it's going to be a lot more chaos. But I'm sure, the college is streamlining things. Many ways of doing things have been introduced. For instance, this very orientation session happening the way it is, where I'm able to share with you without having to travel to your college, which is sad because I've been to your college so many times, without having to travel to your college. But it's also a lot of savings. It's so much more sustainable. I'm able to convey the same message to all of you. So yes, things can be done online and done well too. So again, you haven't started studio, so you're going to see some images of what a studio could be like, a design studio. You could have questions in your mind of, am I the right fit in architecture? Did I make that right decision? Why on earth can I not use this clutch pencil? Why can't I draft with a roller scale? How do I make a sheet that's free of smudges? Are things that, questions that might keep cropping up as you go along life. So when will you ever get a good night's sleep? I'm sure I'm scaring you a little bit with what I'm telling you, but there's a lot of fun in all this. Going through endless nights, ideating, thinking, and and then there is that eureka moment where you actually have an idea that you absolutely love. And it's possible that not many people do when you go back to college with that idea. But, it's part of that learning curve. How do you seek that right direction in your architectural journey? How do you acquire those right skills? How do you imbibe right values? How do you enjoy the ride? While doing all this, I've been saying that it is tough. Both my brothers were engineers and went to IIT, and I remember them telling me that, architecture seems a lot more difficult in terms of even the physical labor, the mental, churning that happens than many of the other disciplines. But it's a lot more fun too. So how do you enjoy that ride? So let's see how we can figure out life in architecture itself. How do you seek the right direction, the skills, and the values? At Ethos, we strongly believe that knowledge is power. And when you're equipped with knowledge, you are more comfortable in a discussion, in presenting your work. So it's important for you to know your stuff. Whatever you're putting down on that paper, whatever research you're doing, you need to know it well. It can't be something that you're just skimming through. Once you know it well, you're going to be able to defend everything that you do. So knowledge is certainly power. The journey of seeking the right direction, skills, and values begins with a self-exploration. You actually look at yourself and see what are your strengths. You explore around you, you reflect and ruminate, and then you act. So if this is the process, we'll look at that journey of self-awareness in architecture with your college and with Ethos. If only there was a sorting hat, like the Hogwarts used to have, that could tell us where we belong, where we are going. Here you would be told that you belong to Slytherin or whichever house, Gryffindor or whatever. But in real life, it's actually a process of self-exploration and discovery to find out. So we call it the ACED sorting house of architecture, just for the acronym of it also, that ASHA being finding hope in your strengths, and then seeking to develop additional skills. So are you a dreamer? Are you a dreamer who loves to conceptualize, thinks of in endless possibilities. You dream and you're not sure how it's going to come into fruition, but you love that letting your thoughts run wild? Or are you a very logical person who has an analytical mind, who loves to weigh, okay, these are the pluses, these are the minuses, and then you take that informed decision, like this decision of having wanting to do architecture? Are you that curious person who is always wanting to ask questions, wanting to read up, wanting to find out more about what you do? Are you that innovative person who will look at something and say, I need to see how I can take this further and make it different, make it work in a different field, maybe apply it somewhere else, and so on? You could be all of these. You could be multiple personalities here. You could be a dreamer and a curious person. You could be a logical person who innovates. It's important for you to kind of try and see what kind of a person you are, so you can acquire some of the other skills that are also required. Some of them, you may think a dreamer and a logical person may not go together, but you do need to have some amount of logic. So you may need to acquire those skills if you are a dreamer. So this is something that you could look at to explore yourself. So we've created a course actually called the Universe of Architecture, which is introductory modules for students. It's available on asech.in. If you see asech.in /courses/UOA. It's I think 9 webisodes, so 9 videos, we call them webisodes, 9 chapter series on understanding architecture itself. So it introduces you to different concepts. It comes up packaged as knowledge, skills, and attitude. It has been, we have these, it's like a comic book on architecture, really. We've introduced 3 characters who take you through time. So one of them is from the future, one of them is from the past, and one of them is current. And they do time travel to different types of designs and buildings, and find relationships between buildings, between different buildings, between culture and the building, between climate and the building, between people's lifestyles, between the ecology and architecture. How over time planning principles have changed, how scale matters. These are all things that we've introduced, put together in this module, which might be a good module for you to, a good course for you to take to understand where you are if you'd like to. This also could be an introductory course for those who are aspiring to be architects. Even before you take on architecture, you could probably take. So it's a fun narrative journey, and there are small exercises as activities that have also been incorporated into this course. We have showcased works of different architects and professionals like Rahul Mehrotra, Gerard Dakana, Parul Zaveri, Ankon, who work with different kinds of materials and build different kinds of architecture. So they also are speaking to you to tell you about why they choose architecture and what excites them most, and how they crafted their journey in this magical field of architecture and design. So this is something that might help you kind of get a better grounding. So when you look at Ethos, I'd just like to quickly tell you what are the different things we do at Ethos. This course I was telling you about, Universe of Architecture, comes under our vertical called ASECH, which is into online learning. So we craft different kinds of courses for students at different stages in life, and it's also for professionals. So we have various courses for different segments of people. Over a period of time, you could keep equipping yourself with different kinds of skills. So that's under ASET. IDS, we had Chetan. The reason I'm saying this, introducing you to these things, is because I believe the journey with us, your journey with us, has begun today, and I'd like you to know what we are about. IDS helps you, that exploration that one talked about, what kind of a person you are. it probably could help you with that, because we run a lot of outside the classroom competitions and contests. Dayanand Sagar has taken part and achieved and excelled in our competitions as well. Arcumen that Chetan sir was talking about a little while ago, is a quiz on architecture that we do annually, and I think, if I'm not wrong, Dayanand Sagar College has had 2 national runner-ups and multiple national finalists in the last 18 years of its existence. Our cause is another, and we also do a lot of design competitions. So if you are that person who believes in sustainability, there is a competition for you. You're somebody who likes technology, there's a competition for you, and so on. So there are various kinds of contests that we float there, and I believe taking part in competitions is something that, even reading that brief helps you understand a little bit more about how people do things. Seeing the winning designs tells you where you stand, how you can raise that bar for yourself, how you can equip yourself better. So I think it's important for you to look at taking part in some of these competitions as well. Our cause is a venture we are starting where we as designers speak up for our own cause, as well as we as designers get together and resolve causes of society. So these are going to be small campaigns that we will be launching, and would certainly like to hold hands with colleges such as yours and with students like you, so we can walk this journey together. Playston, while we are calling it Playston just now, it's likely to undergo a name change, is a venture where we are helping with placements. Colleges of architecture particularly find it difficult because our profession doesn't lend itself very easily to interviews and placements the way engineering and other fields do. So we have a portal where portfolios can be uploaded, and we have architects who come and ask us to find candidates, and we kind of help do the match. So that's ethos for you largely. Let's move on to exploring life in architecture again. So I told you about knowledge, skills, and attitude. So when you talk of knowledge, we are talking about concepts, spatial thinking, developing narratives. How do you research? How do you ensure you're not plagiarizing? How do you take inspiration and not copy? Understanding materials. And then you have skills. How do you visualize? How do you visualize in 2D? How do you visualize in 3D? How do you read architecture? How do you communicate architecture? Through model making, through representation. How do you manage your time? I told you about how mad it can be, the pace once it starts. So how do you manage that time? So these are all skills you need to acquire and consciously acquire. Some of them you have to be very consciously acquired because it is essential. How do you develop an attitude to view design? How do you develop attitudes of empathy, sensitivity, sensibility, and decisiveness? And these are also things that you can nurture and make them part of your design persona. So it's not something that you need to be born with, but these are things that can be acquired over a period of time as well. I talked about documentation. I think it's essential right from year one to be able to document. These days, social media helps a lot in the ways you document, but you need to be careful because you're also documenting your journey. And after a period in time, there are, when you're applying for colleges abroad, you're applying for a job, these journeys become important. So what you're documenting, how you're documenting also is essential to start crafting right from now. Reflecting and ruminating on life in architecture. So, people have documented lives from time immemorial. From the caves, you would see cave paintings. There are people who keep journals. There are albums. There are diaries. And then now we have Facebook and Instagram. These are all ways in which you're documenting lives, like I said just now. So keeping a journal, I've heard many reputed architects speak. And when they're talking to a college, almost all of them stress on this importance of a notebook, a sketchbook, a diary, something that you carry along with you, where you're constantly taking notes. By notes, I don't mean actually writing, but it could be visual notes. It could be, sketches. It could be doodles. It could be writing. It could be a bit of photography. multiple things that happen, because this helps you in, in communicating successfully. It helps you in, they say that use of your hand kind of helps reinforce memory also. So it helps you remember, it helps you keep track, it helps you create new stuff. When you're creating something, it will come back to you saying, hey, I saw this somewhere when I was sketching, you saw that detail, you understood it a lot better. So it's essential to keep records. I'm sure if I was there with all of you, I would have asked you questions, but I think all of you know that this is a time capsule, not to be opened until 2957 AD is what it says. If I was quizzing you, I would ask you who was the designer of this. This is the New York Times capsule by Santiago Calatrava. I'll allow you to reflect a bit on what the shape is. It's in front of the Natural History Museum, I think, in New York, and it's going to be opened sometime in the third millennium, 3000 and something. They've put in, this was, I think, about 10 years ago, it was sealed with obviously things of daily use at that point in time, so that so many years hence, no, I think it was sealed in 2000. So many years, 1,000 years hence, you're going to actually see what people in our current times actually, how they lived. So I don't know if you've deciphered what this shape is. It's the symbol of infinity, which was the design of Calatrava, and maybe you can read up more on it. So why am I telling you all this? You'll get to know in a bit. So this was Mimar Sinan, an architect, designer from years ago in Turkey. When he designed this mosque, he concealed in the arch of that mosque a scroll of paper, which 400 years later, when they dismantled it, because it was in a very bad state of disrepair, when they dismantled it, they found the scroll, where he had actually predicted, he had said that if you have opened it, it means it is, around this period in time, this is the date, this is the year, because I know that this is going to be the life of this arch or this building, and you will need to replace it and reinforce it in whatever way. So that was his time capsule, or that was his message for the future. When man landed on moon in 1969, there were again in a silicon chip. Oopsie, I'm so sorry about that. In a silicon chip, there was a message sent into space with messages from. There was a silicon chip that was sent into space with messages from different people, including this being from Queen Elizabeth, and this was left behind there. Don't know who is going to recover that. So what are we going to do today? We are going to make a time envelope. I had requested, Chetan sir had requested all of them to have envelopes ready. Have they got that? Can someone?
The students were in.
So we need an envelope, we need a paper, and we need a pen. If you want to take a couple of minutes to organize yourselves, please do that. I actually can't see the screen, so I can't make out if you people are ready. You can let me know, Chetan sir, when I can continue.
Okay, on behalf of both sections, Purvi, can you just let us know when all the friends are ready?
Yes, paper? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can somebody from the other section confirm the same thing, please?
It's okay if you don't have it. You can still proceed with the activity. You could probably take it up later. I just wanted to give you a couple of minutes to get a paper and an envelope ready.
Somehow these sessions are better than offline.
Sir, A section students, we are ready, sir.
Nice. Okay.
B section,
Sir,
can we have a
Even
similar
B section.
configuration?
Yes, sir, even B section, yes, sir. We're ready.
Great. So
All right.
I think
Karthik
we
is
all
on
have a nice bit of paper, pen and envelope. So what we're going to do is make a time envelope for ourselves where what is the memory of you that you want to leave behind in college, and how can your memory continue to catalyze change? If this sounds very high funda for you, I simply want you to write down, what do you see, what would you like to be, what kind of an architect you'd like to be 5 years from now, what kind of a person you'd like to be 5 years from now. How do you perceive this journey of the 5 years in college to be? What are you looking out for? Besides making friends and having fun, can you think of, to give you an example, would you like to, so what is your ambition in life? Would you like to become the most famous architect in the country? Would you like to become the most helpful architect in the country? Would you like to become the richest architect in the country? I'm just giving you some silly examples, but you could think about what you'd like to do deep into the future. At the end of 5 years, what do you want to have learned? What is the kind of change you would like to bring about in society, in one person's life, in a community's life, in the environment? If you were to think of these things, can you write down just 3 points, 3 or 4 points that, and this is for yourself, nobody's going to look at it. So you're writing only for yourself. Decorate your papers later, decorate your envelopes, write what you want to, and then seal it and put it away for 5 years and read it 5 years down the line. Maybe the same day you can set an alarm for yourself somewhere and see what you told yourself today and how much of that you actually realized. You could do this every year, in fact, and then open it 4 years later, 3 years later, 2 years later, and see how your journey has changed. Very often when you write what you want to do, you actually end up doing some of those things. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to think if you'd like to, but you don't have to do it now, because this could be something that you take some time over. So my next slide was going to be, it's okay if you haven't thought about it. You could take some time, think about it, and put it together for yourself, because this is something that you're doing only for yourself. I'm going to give you a minute. Anybody wants to ask something, you're most welcome to. But this is completely your personal journey, and hence you should think about what you want these 5 years to be, what you want to give, what you want to take, and where do you want to go. So if you've made a note of what you have to write in, maybe you can spend some time over the weekend, if your college gives you time, that is, if they've not given you a submission already. But I'm sure you'll find some time for this. You need about half an hour. Put it down, seal it, and remember where you've kept it, and set yourself a reminder to open it 5 years down the line. So I'm moving on. Let's open our envelopes in 5 years. So taking action in life, like I said, so after you finish all those steps is when you actually take action in life, and then you get on to doing things. And yes, and I hope you all do a lot of good things in life. You introspect first, find out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, equip yourself better, look around you, find out where you can make that intervention, and then go out there and do it. make associations, connect with people, not just in your college. Your colleges should not remain your oyster. The world is your oyster. So look beyond. Of course, do a lot of things in college, but use your college as a springing board to do so much else outside. And the world needs many people like you. So the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance, is what Alan Watts said. So I have a little video for you, and if you see that, you'll realize if he could do that, why can't we?
Let me go down there and felicitate him.
So every time I see that video, I'm kind of completely rejuvenated, and I say, hey, you know, what we face is nothing. Look, if someone like that could actually dance with so much happiness, so much vigor, I think we have a lot to give of ourselves also. It's been such a, I don't know what you expected from this presentation, whether you expected it to be about architecture, but I hope I've given you some excitement to look forward to in your first year and subsequent years as well. And I look forward to keeping in touch and doing a lot with all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, college, Rama ma'am, Chetan sir, all of you for having me here. I hope I've done justice.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Just to issue a clarification over here, I'm Sharad over here. I'm actually logged in from Chetan's ID.
Right. I thought Sharad, that's why I said. And Chetan was moved out of the meeting in the middle is what I saw. There was something.
Yes. So yeah, anyway, irrespective of that, it was a wonderful session, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. I'm definitely sure that the first years are full gung-ho about coming to college from now.
Happy to hear. I would love to chat up if anybody wants to ask something or just comment or something. Some of the youngsters want to talk. Be happy to hear from them.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm deeply appreciative of Geeta ma'am's words of wisdom. And thank you, Geeta, so much for accepting to speak to our incoming batch, DSCA 2020. You have reminded us that we are human beings first and need to be mindful of our universe, our friends, college, context, classmates, along with family and friends. You have also communicated what an immersive experience architecture school can be. Your thoughts are much needed since we are presently in the online mode of class and students are yet to meet each other. So they've all entered this new course, knowing they have friends out there, but yet to meet them. You have also stirred the students to explore their personalities and find themselves. I warmly thank you for your inspiring words. I wish our students also a wonderful journey at Dayanand Sagar College of Architecture, and welcome once again. Thank you, Geeta ji. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you. They're going to be the pioneers who are doing a different kind of program. So I think, and for all of you also, it's going to be quite an exciting.
It's a new norm for all of us, and going forward with blended learning, it's really, I think, not going to go away, this online method of communication. Thank you so much, and wish everyone a good day.
Thank you. Yeah.